And the topic of today is about health. So the two important topics that you need to think of in life. So yesterday we talked about the topic of peace, how to find the inner peace that make your mind less what? If you find the inner peace and make your mind less, say it, restless, less agitated, less restless, less running here, running there, try to find happiness where that it doesn't belong. Okay, so we need to, all the technique of yoga is to help you to turn inward, to find the peace, and that's how you rest and relax, okay, in your own true nature. Now, the topic of health. So we are born with this body with a certain number of breath. You know that? Everyone is born with a certain number of breath. That means energy. Yeah? And it depends. It's like you buy a car. You buy a car, it has a certain capacity to run, maybe 200,000 miles, or kilometers. And it depends on how you drive it, how you use it. If you use it recklessly, then it would last less because you also, it breaks down. So it depends how you drive it, how you use it, how do you use this precious vehicle that you've been given, which is this body-mind complex. Okay. So regarding health, according to yoga, then we talk about holistic health. That means the health of body, mind, spirit. Okay? So think about this, what that means. So in yoga, never any time that we talk about the body separately. So when you look at the body, we know it's an external indication of something that is more subtle, which is the mind and the energy, right? And then when you look at the mind and the mind, how the mind behaves, and nowadays more and more research about this, the direct connection between the spirit and the mind. I mean, if you have that connection to the self, if you know that you are the immortal self, then the mind is more positive or less involved in things that are not so important, that create a lot of drama, a lot of trauma, a lot of difficulties, a lot of emotion upheaval, that create ultimately disease. It's very appropriate to talk about this for me because this morning I received the news of a young ex-staff who just died. She's young. And when she was there, we tried to help her and talk to her and so on. She has some condition, but then after she figured out that she has cancer, then she left the ashram and so on. But the whole time when she was there, she's sad. And the feeling that we got is that she's sad. And no matter what happened, she's very nice, but there is a sadness there. So then I talked to her a long time, many times, and then figured out that, she has a very difficult upbringing in the family. There's a lot of violence, a lot of repression, a lot of difficulties there. So the yoga lifestyle and the four path of yoga that you'll be learning. So here in the ashram in the yoga farm, we have the yoga teachers training course going on in the first week. So we'll be learning about the four path of yoga and the different mental attitude and different ways how we can dig very deep and then we can work out. You see the different difficult karma that you might be born with and that tax your health. Because anything that you are thinking negatively in your mind would tax your prana, your life force away. Yeah. And anything that you keep repeating in your mind long time, then it creates disease. Okay. So one of the most recent important doctor that wrote many books is Dr. Gabor Mate. Gabor Mate wrote one book. It's called When the Body Says No. Yeah? If you keep thinking about the same thing and you cannot resolve it, and you don't forgive, you don't forget, you resent, and then who knows what, you would eventually develop disease in the body. Okay? Oftentimes disease happen, somewhere that represent more or less, the condition of the mind. Okay? The body is an external manifestation of the mind. And the body and mind complex are the manifestation, if you like, of the particular karma or situation that you have to go through in order for you to be enlightened, in order for you to wake up from that wrong thinking and to reconnect with yourself. So that's the meaning of life when we are born with the body. So we need to, as much as possible, to increase awareness, increase consciousness of who you are. And that is the purpose of yoga and Vedanta. The more that you increase the consciousness and awareness of who you are, the more that you be in tune with the spirit, then the more that whatever that the condition, the difficulties would be less, less grasping, less serious, less dramatic, less involved. And then the more that you'll be able to go through, right through the different difficulties of life in a positive manner. Okay? So we are all equipped with this very wonderful body and a wonderful mind, very, very powerful instrument and a wonderful intellect, but we have to learn how to use it. Unfortunately, we think of health in a very superficial manner. Yeah. So we just function, somebody said like this, we just function and living our life as best as we can, and sometimes do wrong thing, destroying the body. And then when we are sick, then we run to the doctor and say, doctor, now take care of me. And everything is in the hands of the doctor. And the doctor can only do certain things and give you palliative kind of cure or care, and then cannot go into the deep root of the problem, and then oftentimes resort to very radical ways, like some drugs and medicine and surgery, and it doesn't help you in the long run. Okay, so according to yoga philosophy and Ayurveda, then we need to take care of our health, ourselves. We need to prevent more than cure. We need to be aware. We need to be moderate. We need to be aware, knowing. Okay, so Swami Sivananda in this book called Bliss Divine, he said a few things that we need to remember, learn by heart. He said, there is perfect order in nature. The sunrise at a certain set time and go to bed at a certain set time. Okay? It's performed its duty very properly. The stars and planets revolve in an orderly manner. Why? Because they are governed by laws. Okay? There are laws in the mental plane. There are laws of physics, of astronomy, of mathematics. There are laws of hygiene and health which govern our own being. So in the vast universe, man, means humankind, only breaks and violates all rules and laws. He is a single example of lawlessness and discord. We willfully disregard the law of health, lead a life of dissipation. What is dissipation? Free, we talk about the wild horse, run freely, do whatever the senses dictate, do whatever our emotion, our desire dictate, okay? So, and then we wonder why we suffer from disease and disharmony. We deliberately ignore the rules of hygiene and right living, and then we weep when we are ailing from incurable malady. Every human being is the author of his own health or disease. So what is it that Swami Sivananda just said now? He gave the responsibility of your health in your hand, right? So you are responsible. Of course, when you were young, you are taken care of by parents, by other people, and you cannot really, so you depend on that. There is an element there of the karma there, if people take care of you well or not. But eventually you need to be able to be responsible. That's why you need to teach children when they're young, the law of health. We used to have a children's yoga camp here for more than 20 years. We disconnected from after the pandemic, but also now in Vietnam, I believe there is a children's yoga camp, and Swami Vishnudevanji started the children's yoga camp a long time ago, because we teach to children the basic thing about health, how to connect with themselves. I tell you, one time, it was a shock to my mind when I sit in the room and I look out to the yoga platform, and I saw a group of children who were from the children's camp. Yeah, they were doing some kind of activity, some dance or something, and then the teacher was not there. And after they finished the activity, all of them lie down in savasana. Yeah. And I know how to relax. Children, it is, when they are rowdy, they are running here, they are screaming, and they use their prana, a lot. And then when I see the group of children lying down and do the relaxation by themselves, I was so shocked. Yeah. So that means that you have taught them the basic important things in life. Which are the 5 points of yoga. Okay, how to do activity, exercise, yoga, asana, breathing, relaxation, eating proper food. We teach them how to eat, how to cook. They prefer to cook pizza and Sattvic pizza. And positive thinking. I can tell you, with children, it's not easy to teach them positive thinking. You know why? Because what they feel, they say it. What they feel, they say it directly, and they scream it, I hate you. And you try to teach them positive thinking. It's the most difficult positive thinking class that I did. But nevertheless, we are teaching children how to self-regulate. The new word there in psychology, self-regulation. I mean, you yourself, you have to learn to control your own mind. And if you are able to self-regulate, then eventually, whatever that is in your mind is stuck, or has this tendency to be going to extreme. Eventually you'll be able to warn it out, you'll be able to round it up, you'll be able to calm it down, you'll be able to manipulate it, and it will not create, in a long run, it will not create problem to you as blockage of energy. Any blockage of energy create disease eventually. So the asana system that you are learning is to unblock the prana, to unblock and make the prana flow. Yeah. So we teach children and we teach adults how to do that. So Swami Sivananda says that the responsibility of our health is in our hands. Every human being is the author of his own health and disease. And you know, Swami Sivananda is a medical doctor. So he did not monopolize the idea that, if you are diseased, come to the doctor. Disease, he said, is a result of disobedience to the immutable laws of health that govern life. The laws of health are the laws of nature. These should not be violated with impunity. Those who neglect these laws become victims to incurable diseases and drag a cheerless existence. Life without good health is a miserable condition, even if one is the Lord of the whole earth. What is the use of wealth and possessions if a man cannot eat well on account of disease of the stomach? If he cannot walk on account of rheumatism or paralysis, if he cannot see the beautiful scenery of nature on account of defective vision. So the first wealth is health. It is the greatest of possessions. It is the basis of all virtues. Imagine, it is the basis of all virtues. Why? Why health will be the basis of all virtues? Because if you don't have health, and health always is a physical, mental, spiritual, physical health when all your organs function properly, optimally, under the intelligent control of the mind. Okay? The mind has to be working with the body. Let's say it's cold and you put a hat and you put an extra sweater. It's raining and you put an umbrella. This is the mind has to help the body. And the mental health comes when you are able to concentrate. Okay? When your mind is not so distracted, and also when the emotions are under control. What that means, when you don't have negative emotions. Okay? And the spiritual health comes when you are in connection with your own self, when you know who you are. So then there is a driver on the driver's seat of the vehicle of your body mind. Okay? So then at that time, you know how it is, the driver driving a car, you know how to put more gas, how to less gas, how to go fast, how to go slow, how to cool the engine. Yeah. So the holistic health is body, mind, spirit health. It is basis of all virtues, because only when you are healthy, you think positively, you act positively, then at that time you develop virtues. Virtues means good character, good conduct, good feeling, good behavior. So then at that time, you are healthy mentally, but also around you is healthy. Because you are never alone. That idea to say that, the body is my possession, you didn't need to take care of the body. You are responsible of the body that been given to you as your vehicle, but also you are not alone. The mind is working with everybody else around you, so you need to be responsible of that as well. Without health, life is not life. It is only a state of languor suffering, and half death. Strong, huh? Half death. That means what? You drag your body and mind. You are not vital. You are not joyful. You are not functioning optimally. The difficulties and the troubles that people suffer arise from ill health. Nowadays, the mental health is a very big problem. He who has good health has hope. He who has hope has everything. So the first requisite in life is good health. Good health is a valuable asset for one and all. You should have physical health as well as mental health. If you do not possess good health, you cannot properly prosper in any walk of life. You cannot achieve anything. The instrument must be kept clean, strong, healthy. Health is that state in which a man sleeps well, digests his food well, is quite at ease, is free from any kind of disease or uneasiness. When you are in a state of perfect health, all the organs, the heart, the lungs, the brain, the kidneys, the liver, intestine work in perfect harmony and concord and discharge their functions satisfactorily. The pulse rate and the rate of respiration are in perfect order. Temperature is normal. A healthy man smiles and laughs. He's cheerful and happy. He discharges his daily duties with ease and comfort. A healthy man is capable of doing work for a long time without being fatigued. His bowels move very freely every day, so make sure that your bowel move, freely every day. Don't allow constipation to be so long. Yeah. And you possess the highest kind of mental and physical efficiency. Okay? So health is a positive state. So we are teaching a course. Those who finish TTC, you can think of taking a longer and deeper course. 800 hours is called Yoga Health Education Training. But we could have said the word yoga therapy. Yeah, people like yoga therapy. We could call the course yoga therapy. Yeah, but we don't. Why? We call it yoga health education. Why? Because people think yoga therapy, people think of disease. Yeah, the mentality is you think of disease. So when you have disease, you need to fix it. Is it not? When we are saying something different, it's not just only fixing the disease, but it is educating. It is living life healthily, preventatively, because Swami Sivananda says here, health is your birthright. Okay? So you function healthily when you're young, when you're older, with your responsibility, whatever the situation you are in, but also when you are, old, you can be healthy, physically and mentally and spiritually. You have to know the levels of where you are at, the different position in life. Your body would change, biologically, it change physiologically, it change. Your mind also change. With time, you mature. You cannot just be healthy if you mature and your mind is still acting like a 10 years old. It doesn't work like that, right? So you have to keep up with your evolution. You have to understand what is life, what is death, what is prana, how do I regulate my emotions, How do I think about myself? Who am I? All these questions, right? That is being taught here in the yoga ashram, because it's not being taught otherwise in other places, because people might talk about now very strong teaching about the mind, therapy, but the spirit is disconnected. Yeah, disconnected. When the spirit is actually the most important. Don't you say body, mind, spirit, but the spirit is most important, because if you understand the spirit, then there is a way for you to sort out all the difficulties, or we call the karmic situation in life. Yeah, because you are detached, from the situation. Then at that time, you know what's the reason why it happened. It happened in order for you to become wiser, in order for you to change your deeper thinking, in order for you to be free from that particular karma. Yeah, so then spiritually you are healthy. But why? Because it is said that that we are perfect and complete, at all time. And whatever happened in our life, we are not victim to it. It's something that we need to really think about it and be conscious about it. And the more that we are conscious about it and understanding it, then less it has like I said earlier, a grasp over you. Okay? So spiritual health is most important. It's very important. You can see some people, they might have a physical, healthy, relatively healthy body, but their spirit is sick, right? So they don't understand the meaning of life. They don't know who they are, And some people, they may be old, they maybe have a handicapped body, but their spirit is healthy. Okay. So how to be healthy? Be sober and temperate. You will be healthy. Bask in the sun. Live in the open air. Sleep in the open air. The sun and the open air are your good doctors. Let your food be simple. Never eat too much. Take sufficient exercise. If you do not keep well, fast till you are well again. Become your own physician. Assist nature, but do not force nature. Allow nature to heal you. Nature is the best healing agent. Medicines and doctors only help nature in its recuperative work. An injudicious, a not wise doctor who disturbs nature's work does more harm than good. Oh, I'm sorry to say, but I'm a little bit suspicious of doctors because of my own observation. I don't have preconceived idea. It's just observation. I'm usually very healthy, and I'll just share with you a story. One time I went to India and I travel and visit a lot of temples for 2 months. I have a good time. I had a good time, Since you are very high. you pray and you visit the temples and whatever. And I come back. I was director of San Francisco Center, and then I cannot function. I could not function. Something is wrong, right? So I went to the doctor. I have a little lymph node here, swelling. I went to the doctor, and the doctor say, cancer. They just touch, and they take the tape, the measure tape, and literally, and put some mark and measure the size. They find it good. And that doctor said the word cancer. And then they wanted to do biopsy, this, that, but, I finished with that appointment and I decided not to go back. And I went to another doctor. And when I told the doctor I just come back from India, the doctor said, tuberculosis. See, literally, I swear, I did not lie. And when these words come, I get very, very upset. Okay, because my mind is already thinking, racing. If I had tuberculosis, I cannot teach anymore. Who will take care of the center and this and that. And again, so then I went to another doctor. This time I went to a Chinese doctor. I get some reference, a Chinese doctor living very far. I had to drive there to see that Chinese doctor who is an acupuncturist. Yeah. So, how it is. You approach a doctor, you think that you have a disease with all this big name that is hovering over your head. Oh, doctor, what do I have? And the doctor said, don't worry about this. This is an old Chinese man. He said, don't worry about this. And he gave me acupuncture point. I don't really understand, but he gave acupuncture point. And I feel so good. I have a lot of energy. I feel very good. I drive back, feel very happy. But he never said to me, what do I get? So I was thinking, how can you give him, you pay him to tell you what you get? But he didn't ever say what you get. He just say, don't worry about this. So the Chinese doctor I come back to regularly, but he never really said a word, what do I get? Okay? Because our mind want to have a label, right? This other doctor gives you a label. But you want to have a label, because you have a label, you know what you get. But the doctor didn't say anything. Yeah? And the same with Ayurveda. We don't say these words. We just have to make sure that the prana is flowing and is balanced. So then I cut my medical card. I cut my medical card, so I cannot go to the Western doctor. This is Swami Sita. It's a little bit extreme, but that's what I did. Because the tendency when you are sick, is you want to go to the doctor because you are scared. Okay? So I don't want that to happen to me. The scare feeling. And then during that time, I still do meditation every day and yoga, even though it's difficult because you feel not okay. So your tendency is just to lie down and sleep. But really, I still do asanas every day and meditation every day. And then that's it. And then I met with the first Ayurvedic doctor in my life. At that time, Ayurveda is not known. Ayurveda is a science of medicine that is related to yoga. At that time was a long time ago. It must be 20 or plus years ago. Then Ayurveda is not known. I met the first Ayurvedic doctor, and then he asked the question, what do you eat? What do you eat? So I answer, okay, I eat noodles and tofu. And he said, no good. If you want to eat noodle, you need to have fresh noodle. You need to make your own noodle. Eat tofu is it's very difficult to digest. So, and then he gave me a tea. It was a rose herbal tea that he made himself. And the rose come from the Himalaya. It's just a tea. And he said, drink this. And that's it. Drink this when you don't feel well. And I drank the tea. I drank the tea. And I drank the tea. And I drank the tea. Then I realized, oh my God, I drank a lot of tea. Then I realized, oh my God, I'm anxious. First time I knew What's the name of the disease? Or anxiety. So according to Ayurveda, if you travel a lot, which I did for 2 months, you travel a lot, even if you are, excited, you develop what we call vata condition, too much air. So then that will bring anxiety. And from anxiety will bring many other things. So when I realized from that drinking tea that really the mind is anxious, and I did not know about this, and that's it. The awareness of the condition of the mind, bring about the cure. That's how it works. It's not very complicated. So there's no cancer, there is no tuberculosis. It's just the calming of the vata condition in the body and mind. And the swelling node, which is a little infection that some have some kind of thing, I just must have got some bug there, disappear. So the swelling disappear. I come back to myself, I come back to my senses, everything is okay. You see? So you need to understand the nature. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, eventually you understand how it is moving, how it is changing. Nature is moving, it's changing, it's not rigid. You cannot really put everything in boxes under a label. So who is the person that can do this? You. Right? Because the body is constantly changing. The mind is constantly changing. So you can go to a doctor, consultation, but you need to pay attention. You are the one that would be able to bring back the order. Okay? So starting from that experience, and I become very careful when I use doctor. And later on, it's also proven to me a few times. Many doctors are so radical that they just look at the body, somehow compartmentalize the body, and not seeing the picture of the whole body, and not seeing the picture of the psychology of the body, and not at all considering who is the person, the spirit, who is the person. So it's a lacking. Okay, so we need more holistic knowledge. Okay, and yoga teacher, you have a very important role, because you will be using yoga as the way of life, as a method, how to help people bring back their own health and balance. So basically, he said, be sober and temperate, pay attention to not overeating, and pay attention to the intimate connection between the physical health and the mental health. He say, all diseases, now hear this very well, all diseases take their origin in the mind. Okay? Body, mind, spirit is one unit. Okay? But the mind is very important. The mind is giving the difficulties to the body. He say, the pains that afflict the physical body are called secondary disease. Okay? So doctor that treat only symptoms, he didn't go to the root. But they say the pain that afflict the physical body are secondary disease. While the vasanas, or the thoughts that affect the mind, are termed mental or primary disease. Okay? The primary disease is in the mind. Okay? When the mind is not enlightened, when the mind is not wise, when the mind is in darkness, when the emotions are in darkness, when we are living a deluded life, yeah, ignorant, not knowing our true nature, not knowing the light within us, yeah, then at that time, the mind is dark. The mind is unenlightened. It's dark. And when the mind is dark, then eventually your action will be not helpful, and then eventually the body breaks down. If bad thoughts are destroyed, bodily diseases will vanish. So please treat the mind first. Swami Sivananda says, treat the mind first. As you know, he was a medical doctor, director of hospital, but then he realized that curing people from ailment, physical ailment, yeah, is not sufficient. There is something that people are suffering from, yeah, and that's how he renounced the medical profession and become a renunciate and become a monk, so that he can become the doctor of the soul. And when he become a Swami, doctor of the soul, guiding people spiritually, he also helped people physically and medically. That he still did not abandon, but first is the spirit. In the ashram, there is a hospital that is established. At the same time, have allopathic medicine, at the same time, Ayurvedic medicine in the ashram itself. So he say, mental health is more important than physical health. Removal of hatred through cosmic love, service, friendship, mercy, sympathy, and compassion. Removal of greed through disinterested service, generous acts, and charity. Removing pride through humility. These will help you a great deal in the achievement of good mental health. Okay? Serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize. That is his recipe for health. You must always be cheerful. Cultivate this virtue again and again. Laughter and cheerfulness increase circulation of blood. They are blood tonics. Be courageous, be cheerful, be kind, be tolerant. Pray, sing, meditate. Do japa, pranayama, asanas. You have wonderful physical and mental health. You have always a calm and poised mind. When you have controlled the mind, you have perfect control over the body. The body is only a shadow of the mind. It is the mold prepared by the mind for its expression. So be not a victim to imaginary disease. Okay? So that's a problem. The mind imagine all kinds of disease. Yeah? Because you don't know, see? So then you imagine. Yeah? And there's something is that people are lonely and they don't have support. So oftentimes they fall into that imaginary disease. Yeah? Because when you have the imaginary disease, then what happens? People will take care of you. That's the best way how to get people to take care of you. Yeah, is to say that you are sick. Yeah. But if you do that 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, fine and good, but then it becomes a habit. The habit that you would, when you feel something not well, I have keep somebody in mind here. Yeah, when you don't feel well, because of who knows, your roommate just say something, or you are not, you have difficulty to take whatever the person say, and then you say, oh, I'm sick, and then you run to the doctor, because of that mechanism since a very long time. When your mind is not happy and you think that you're sick in the physical body, and then you run to the doctor and you get some medicine in order to help you to take care of the body, but in fact it is the emotion, just a feeling, an emotion that you cannot deal with, because maybe you have that weakness that you cannot deal with any kind of negative emotion. Okay? So if you do like this, you create problem to yourself. Yeah, eventually big problem. Yeah. So pay attention, he said. He say, ill health is a myth. I mean, it's much better that you think that you are healthy than you think that you're diseased. Yeah, to replace that thought. Just keep thinking that you are healthy. And even if you are not healthy, he said, it only exists in the physical and the mental sheath, external layer of yourself. But the Atman, or your true self, is beyond this. I mean, you cannot be touched by virus, you cannot be touched by disease. The Atman is beyond this, therefore eternally free from diseases and death. Okay? So that's the highest positive thinking possible, is to think of your Atman, yourself. Atman, or the self that resides in the chambers of your heart, is a storehouse for health, strength, vigor, and vitality. So when you get in tune with the Atman, then you become strong. You become very, very positive, because, you know, you are not afraid of death. Yeah. If you identify with the body and mind, yeah. If you identify with the body, then the death is lurking there. If you identify with the mind, then you never will be satisfied and fulfilled, because, you know, there's always a lot of things that are contradicting your mind. So, but the Atman cannot be affected by germs, cholera, plague, you know, pandemic, different kind. Weakness, depression, uneasiness, feeling out of sorts, and morbidity have no place in the Atman. Germs and disease take to the hills if anyone simply remembers the Atman or your own self. Even when you are affected by disease, you need to remember your Atman. During illness, detach yourself from the body, connect the mind with the buddhi, or the high intellect and the soul. Again and again assert, I am the bodiless, diseaseless, all-pervading, immortal soul, or Atman. The disease will take to its heels. And then he deplored the fact that the world now is flooded with injection of any kind, many kinds, and, you know, the medical profession become very complex. Yeah. And you are very, that's the thing, you are compartmentalized. And this specialist that take care of this, and you go to this specialist that take care of this specialist that take care of this, and you don't have a big picture of all the connections. The best medicine or tonic for any complaint, physical and mental, is constantly thinking, I am the spirit, the Atman, which is independent of the body and the mind, which is anamaya, diseaseless. Yeah? So repeat this formula mentally several times daily, and remind yourself. Yeah? Every day you repeat a lot. You know, the idea of I am this, I'm this, I'm this is all wrong. You know, try to switch the assertion to the idea that I am the Atman, that is perfect and diseaseless. Meditate on the meaning. Chronic incurable diseases that are declared to be hopeless by the board of doctors can be cured by this method. Okay? So I myself have seen people with incurable disease that is healed by living an integral yoga life and by meditating, by Vedanta. So he say, we need to repeat, by the grace of God, I am becoming better and better day by day in every way. So say it. This is a self-affirmation. It's very healthy. By the grace of God, I am becoming better and better day by day in every way. By the grace of God, I am becoming better and better day by day in every way. Okay? So, you are that. You are this Tatvamasi. You are this immortal self. Rejoice in your Atman and become liberated from death and disease in this life. Hare Om Tat Sat. Okay? So we would continue different topics on stress, how it impact the mind, how it impact your health, and the different mental condition, how you can help yourself, to control the different mental condition like terrible anger or fear or anxiety or depression. All this with yoga, you can go to the root cause of it and you understand how how to work with the root cause. Okay? Oh.